Hey, my name is Jay Martin. Thanks for watching. This is a Tree v Tree game, and this is on Arid Cliffs. This is actually one of my favorite maps. I really like this map. I don't have a really good reason why I like this map. I just know that I like this map. It's kind of cool. Recommend you try it. Playing on over here, Ottoman player. That's me. And then in the middle is Ratu, who is Russian, and on the left is a strategist who's Sweden. And what do we got here? Some shooty cav and everything. I really like this map, I think, because it privileges traditional builds, I think. Or atypical builds. You have to think a little bit harder about the build that you want to bring for this map. Can I give you a good view? Mini-map. If you've never played this map, what's kind of cool is this hill has a slope on that side and then a slope on this side. And there's a couple little bottlenecky openings. But it's kind of a neat map. Our opponents, if I try to get the whole field in view here, once again, me, Rat Strategist. Over there, that's Crow. And then this is CJ Noto right in the middle. And on the left, as Spain, is Wheel. It's probably exactly how I like to have that pronounced. But anyway, what you want to do when this map starts, or what we start doing, is you got to run and get the hill, because terrain... If there's terrain out there, you want to be sitting on top of it, is what you want to do. And I've got my army split into two groups. On this map, there is a little entrance. Let me wheel around and try to show you what's going on, what I'm trying to predict. There's a little entrance right here. See that gap right there? My opponent can come up that gap, which is what he's doing. And then I think there's another one over here. So what I was trying to do is send the bulk of my army over to cover this gap, and the rest of my army over to help in the middle. Now, I have a little bit of advantage here because I brought shooter cav for this exact scenario. If I can get on top of this hill first, and which I did, then I can both shoot from an elevation advantage and charge downhill. Now that is a downhill cav charge. My shots there really did not do shit. That sucked. But shooter cav are really a good unit because A, they can shoot, but B, they're actually pretty decent in melee. And in a situation like this, you could feel pretty comfortable just sending your shooter cav down there into melee, and that's what I do now. Now my guy is doing kind of like a smart thing. He's trying to move his whole army up that gap. The problem is that I'm kind of plugging the hole right now with my shooter cav, and because I'm fighting downhill, my cav are going to have an advantage in the melee game. And this is just a scrum. Like there's nothing pretty going on here, but just a bunch of units involved in melee that I should have the advantage on. What I do while that's going on is I move some infantry to plug the gap. And this is really nice because it means that I've got my the entire army of my opponent is real busy over here, and this frees me to move about, what is that, 6 or so units over to the center to help out Ratu. And that's what I'm kind of thinking. And whenever you can do this, this is good. If I can control 20 units of my opponent with about, 14 of mine, I guess, then you're doing pretty good. Then you can leverage those extra units over to another part of the field. And you want to do that. And the second thing is I have a big terrain advantage going on right here. Let's try to get a better look at this. I have a big terrain advantage. Oops. I have a big terrain advantage, and I should be able to use that as well. And yeah, we routed a cav unit there. Gotta love fighting downhill. I think in a minute what I do is I actually realize I'm not going to need my light infantry here, and so I move them out. And so I wound up holding this entire army off with my 5 cav and 4 line units is what I wound up doing. And I think I just get frustrated over here because there's really no good way to position all of my units to be able to shoot. Over on the other side, the opposing team has conceded the hill. They just didn't go for it. Good idea, bad idea. I'm like a fight for the hill kind of guy, so I think you should always fight for the hill, but I don't know, I guess this works. They're just gonna make us walk around. I mean, I guess I want to say, like, if you're gonna do this and just sit back in the flat part, why aren't we just playing on flats? You know what I mean? Like, the whole fun of playing on a terrain map like this is let's get up there and fight, you know? It's kind of my theory. I don't, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? If you're gonna play on a map with a big ass hill in the middle, let's get on the big ass hill. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm going. Rat did something interesting. He charged a bunch of cav in. Oh, I forgot. This guy was a jackass. What was it again? He bought a bunch of rocket troops. I remember that. Yeah, there's one over there, and there's 2 more rockets over here. I totally forgot about this. This guy brought rockets. And the rules were no artillery. And this guy, man, I should have focused at the beginning. But so Rat just kind of suicided some cav in there to take out some of these rockets. And there they go. Look at those rockets shoot. And I'm moving my guys over to try to. I'm gonna take some hits, and I can threaten this guy. I think there's a gap. Yeah, there's a gap here that I can run down. So I'm moving my units over to threaten those. And the problem is that my units have ran like all the way over here. So these guys are super tired. So what I have to do is let my units rest before I can get them engaged. So that is what's going on. So let me slow down. Big picture over on strategist side, the Spanish guy's just camping. The strategist is waiting to get all those guys rested. You don't want to engage your units when they're tired. You want them to be rested. And then Rat had done his cav thing to take out those rockets. And I want to say he probably wasn't terribly successful. I'm not really sure. It looks like maybe he got 1 of the 3 rocket units. But then over here I'm moving my extra units over to help Rat out over here. And this is me pulling my light infantry out. And I am holding up my opponent's army with just my line. And I'm pulling my cav out. That's what's going on. So the big picture is kind of phase 1 of the game. My opponent's army is still stuck here trying to get up this gap, and I'm shooting down at him. I gotta think that this shootout might take forever because he's in a forest, so he's gonna be hard to kill. But that is what's going on. Let me take you back over here. And what I wind up doing, because my guys are so damn tired, is I wind up sitting here and taking rocket shots for fucking ever, I think, is what I wind up doing. Rat's getting bored, and he's Russians, and Russians are really good at melee, and they're really good at melee charging downhill. This is Strategist backing him up. Strategist sends in some cav to light him up, and Rat's going to follow that up with his guys. Looks like a nice little downhill charge there. Nice cav charge, Strategist. That looks great. And the Strategist is moving around in the flank there. We played this game a couple of days ago, so I'm not, honestly, I don't really remember how it went. I think I start to move down the hill here before too long. I think what I kind of like about this map, too, is you get, like, some epic games on this map. Like, if y'all haven't watched, Leonidas has a video of this game that I love. It is, like, the most bitchin' Total War video of all time. It's so epic. My guy starts trying to move up the hill to attack me. I respect the move. I respect the attack. But, honestly, if I'm sitting on top of a hill, charging up it, against my line of tree is probably not the best idea. Now, I'm not really sure this dude had a whole bunch of better options, like he could have walked around the end of the map on the slope, but then I just could have moved my guys. I mean, that's probably what he should have done. He has enough units here that what he could have done. Check this out. Somebody asked me about attacking up a hill earlier. What you want to do when you attack up a hill is you want to sort of divide and conquer, or you want to spin them out. So if he could have taken his time and walked some of his units around this way and gone up the slope, that might have worked out better for him. I'm not really sure. Oh, this is me. Finally, I get bored and I decide that my semats have rested enough, and I start charging my melee infantry down there. And despite the fact that they were tired, I think they actually did okay. And you can see me. This is me moving my regular infantry down there. I kind of just want to kill these rockets and get this game going. These guys are doing pretty good on their side over there, and I kind of just want to get that put together. Yeah, this is strategist getting it on. This Spanish player really just does nothing this whole game, man. I mean, I guess the French player is like a rocket camper, so I mean, I don't know what to say about him, but I kind of feel bad because the GB guy over here was like the most active player. You know what I mean? Like, it seemed like he tried the hardest, and he just had the hardest time because he kind of maybe picked a bad way to fight. Like maybe if that GB player was over on this side of the line, this would have been a much better game. You know? I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, these guys are hanging out on the left, and I got my troops fighting on the right. And yeah, my melee guys are doing pretty good. I got kind of lucky because all the French cav was busy over there. The real weakness of melee infantry is cav, and there wasn't any cav over here to hurt me. So I was able to get down there and make my melee guys work pretty hard. Is what I was able to do. I think that's the end of the rockets. Now the Spanish player, I guess, does an intelligent thing and realizes that he's about to be flanked over here, so he extends his line out. This really just has the effect of, well, I mean, it's a good idea. It's probably the right thing. There isn't an ideal situation here, but what he should have done, rather than that, because that's just going to make him weak everywhere, is should have attacked and tried to break the flank there, is maybe what I'd recommend. But it looks like about now the French guy is dead, and I'm going to start moving up and engaging the Spanish guy here in a sec. This is what's going on. How's the GB guy doing? Well, looks like he's still attacking up the hill. Yeah, and when he makes the charge up the hill, I charge cav downhill again. Just a rough situation to be in. Elevation matters, everybody. I mean, if there's a terrain feature on the map, you want to get to that terrain feature, and you want to, hold it. That's why campers like maps like Waterloo, where they can just sit on top of the terrain feature. I really like. Yeah, I guess I'm a broken record, but I like maps with terrain features in the middle that you gotta fight for. I guess maybe the thing I don't like is it just privileges maybe who has a little bit faster micro and gets the units moving a little faster. I don't know. There's a lot of variables to it. But I like terrain maps with this kind of feature that, symmetrical terrain maps. I don't like, well, yeah, I'll talk about it later. Anyway, back over here, this is me. I'm able to get on the flank of the guy there. And Ratu is going to... I think this is just a complete crush all over the Spanish guy's line, honestly. Yeah, strategist has got the right side, and looks like Rat's taking the middle, and looks like I got the left. This I guess the Spanish guy, in fairness, was just totally outnumbered about this point. He's taking on essentially 2 full armies there. That's got to be at least 40 units that he's fighting. But that's what you get when you camp. If you just sit back and be too passive, that will happen to you. As ye sow shall ye reap. If you sit back and be passive and let the other players in the field determine the outcome of the game, then you will be at their mercy. That's a really good reason to be active. If you just sit around and take what comes to you, then very often some really bad things are going to come to you. That's a lesson in its own, right? Somebody asked me a while ago. They were like, what's the big advantage of being aggressive like this? Why wouldn't you just camp? And I think they were thinking from the newer player perspective of when you camp, you get the first shot all the time. And a really good argument is that when you are aggressive and you control the pace of the game, you can determine, you can force your opponents into positions that you want. You can dictate the pace of the game. You can dictate the area of the game. Like that. That's a really good advantage to being aggressive. In all truth, that works out a lot. Maybe that's the lesson. I don't know. A lot of some interesting things happen in this game. Kind of an interesting game. But this is the GB player over here. Man, this guy spent like half an hour fighting up that bottleneck. And never quite gets there, I think. And I think all of my infantry is still alive. Yeah, the 4 infantry units that I was initially holding that bottleneck with are still alive. So If you're attacking uphill, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. Anyway, that's the game. I want to say GG to these guys for playing with us. Don't bring rockets. Don't cheat the fucking rules. Oh, I remember what this dude said. Honestly, okay, so CJ Moto right here. What happened in the game? I just remember this is like he spawns and we see the rockets, and I'm like, the rules are no artillery, dude. And he replies with, quote, rockets aren't artillery. You never said no rockets. And I mean, I don't know what you say to that kind of logic. Right. Sure thing, bud. Good playing with you. Anyway, hey, thanks for watching. My name is Jay Martin. I'll check you in the next video. And if the rules are no artillery, don't bring rockets. Bye.